Hey tribe, welcome back to another Sunday Coffee Talk. Right now I know the lighting is a little bit weird, so we are going to go over here where the lighting gets better. But this week on Sunday Coffee Talk, I haven't done a coffee talk like this for a little bit. I mean, as far as what's been going on with me the last few weeks, the last month, what I've been working on, what's changing, what are we transitioning to. So I thought this was a good time to kind of just have way more of a casual coffee talk, meaning like, what's Chad been up to? and and right now I'm getting ready to get over there and make my good old coffee while we talk. So I got my water ready, so let's get rocking and rolling, and we will start this. Plus, remember, every week on Sunday Coffee Talk, we have the Super Thanks Spotlight. The Super Thanks Spotlight is where you leave a Super Thanks and you attach a question to it. And that's what we talk about every single Sunday. So jump into the Super Thanks Spotlight. If you have like a question you want to answer, you want to deep dive in something success, manifesting, stuff like that, that isn't really too personal, that we can talk about it on Sundays. Okay, so got that going. Got the water going. That will take probably a couple minutes. Just get everything else ready. So while that's going, we'll kind of shoot over here and start sitting down. Oh, see, lighting's a little bit better. I was just thinking too, kind of off tangent thought, right before I was going live, I was kind of thinking, how long have I been doing Sunday coffee talks? Okay. And so I was trying to think, I think it's been almost a year now. Because I think I started it when I was up here in Surin, because we've been in Surin for 1 year. So I think I started it up here. I would have to go back and look at my first video, but I think I've been up here. So, and Ing got me this brownie. I think she's trying to make me fat. Brownie and coffee. I don't know. Should I do it? Should I do it, friends? Should I do it? Okay. And the dogs are really barking right now. A lot of dogs on the street and stuff like that. But anyway, while the water's gone, this is a great time to bring it up. I just finished an SP Masterclass. If you don't know what SP means your specific person, your soulmate. You know, basically how to attract your SP and how to keep your SP Masterclass. So how to attract your specific person, how to attract your soulmate, and if you've attracted them, how to keep them. So I just finished a masterclass that took, well, it took way more time than I thought. Okay, anything takes longer than I thought, but that's a fantastic masterclass. So we just wrapped that up maybe, I would say maybe a week ago, we wrapped that up. And so check that out. What I'll do is I'll put the link in the description of the Sunday Coffee Talk here. And so 100% check that out. Let me finish making my coffee. With this coffee pot, once I hear it click off, I have to turn it off right away. Just because like the automatic off button now don't work. So if not, the water will just keep on getting hotter and hotter. This handle right here gets probably melt the handle at one point, I would assume, but the handle gets hot. Like some cray hot going on. Okay, so let's get this going. Then once we get this, we'll sit down and be ready. Then we'll sit down and money came in, look to see what's in the food. Okay, cheers, guys. Cheers. Now, now we're and also in my videos. I feel like I'm wearing the same shirt. It is kind of just like my morning sweater in Thailand. When it's kind of chilly in the morning, I don't have that many sweaters in Thailand because most of the time it's hot. Like up here in Surin, in the mornings it does get chilly around this time. I mean, it's slowly starting to get in hot season. So, I mean, even when you wake up at 6, 7 in the morning, it's already humid. It's slowly getting out of that. But when I wake up, I can still put a sweater on for like an hour, maybe an hour or two. Then I have to take it off. But cheers. The official Sunday coffee talk is on, baby. Okay. But and maybe I'll do this brownie. Maybe I'll do this brownie. But anyway, what's been going on? Okay, I brought up the SP Masterclass, so we did that. That's why I kind of been more quiet in the tribe because once I kind of start something like a big project like that, sometimes it's hard for me to do other things. Okay, I'll get so laser focused on that it's not like I won't forget to do other things. It's just my mind is so focused on that. I just want to get that done. So I did that, finished that. The link is in the description again, and that way you can check it out, get more information on it. I think the big thing that's been kind of going on is Aang and I are starting to transition to Bangkok. I think that's kind of the biggest thing that's been kind of transpired the last I would say the last month because it's almost it's once we made a decision, it's almost been maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks now, going on 2 weeks. So it's probably been the last month. Uh, that our time in Surin has come to an end. uh, so so we came because so those of you just jumping on and then stayed around while I was making my coffee is we came up to Surin about a year ago, about like last February 2025. Right now it's February 2026. So we've been up here a whole year, and we were only planning to come up for a few months. And while we're up here, Anne could take care of her dad and stuff like that. But once we came up here, she realized her dad was in kind of like way worse health than she thought or the family thought. So that's why we kind of just extended it because his health wasn't too good. But now since we've been up there a whole year, his health is totally turned around. So but now like we've been having like since we've been up here, we've been having not just me, but Aang too. It's not like we have I guess we've been having issues with the village and stuff like that. And that's really been kind of hard on Aang because this is the village that she grew up in. So more or less this is, where all her family is, like aunts and uncles and cousins and grandparents and stuff like that. Acquaintances, friends she grew up with, even though they're not family or whatever. So that's kind of been tough on her a little bit. What are you doing, Lucky? What's going on? They hear all the dogs barking, so they kind of get Money and Lucky kind of get anxious. And scared. I don't know. So it's kind of been tough on her, just with kind of all the drama going on in the village. Just because it's been since we've been up here for a year. Not to tell you the whole dramatic story. There's no need for that. But to kind of give you a flashlight version of it. Lucky, what's going on? I might have to walk outside and see. Let me just peek my head out there before. Yeah. Usually when the dogs bark, they just get anxious. Oh, you guys are still out here. You guys are still out there. There's like that little. You see that little brown spot right there? That's a lick. That's not ours. That's a neighbor's dog. But he's like a wiener dog. His nickname is Short Leg. Sounds like an Indian name. Don't you love my nicknames, huh? Oh, I don't know why I found that so funny, but but because he has this like really teeny tiny short leg. Oh, that was funny in the morning. It's funny to me anyway. But what was I talking about? Yeah, going back. But well, it's just been like since we've been here, there's just been just like drama in the village, and mainly kind of around just like with us, mainly just them blasting music all hours of the day and night. I mean, lots of times all through the day, all through the night. So you can't sleep. Your sleep is really rough. Uh, Even with the sleep, it's either the music or the street. I mean, people's dogs bark all night long, or it's just overly loud. So just your quality of sleep isn't that great. And then during the day, lots of times, like it would be tough to work because there would be blasting music during the day too. So, I mean, that's kind of been a battle that we've kind of took on, just because there would just be days I couldn't work at all, just because the music would be too loud. Like you can't sit there, even if I'm not doing videos, like I can't have music blasting in the videos because that's copyright music. I mean, that's common sense. But even just trying to sit down and focus on doing something, it would be hard to focus because you're listening to the bass in the background. And Aang helps me work too. So then it gets annoying for her too. Then the plus is the overall quality of sleep. Then also just dealing with it. You understand? Like he wants to go to bed. I'll crack the door open for him. I'll turn off that light. So so the biggest thing is you, like when you go over and talk to people and stuff like that, talk to the locals in the village. Hey, can you turn down the music? They don't do it. They turn it up. That's where the drama comes in. I mean, that's the mentality that you're dealing with, unfortunately. And that's kind of been really hard on Aang because lots of times it's people she's known, or it's family, or in the family somewhere, or the mentality is, this is my land, I can do whatever I want. And it's like, well, when you live, like they call it a village. To me, I would call it like a little town. But when you have houses right on top of each other, like you can't just blast your music. You know what I mean? There has to be an initial side of respect there. So that's what's been really hard at Aang, because when she goes over and says turn it down, they don't listen. And the only thing you can do is call the Thai police. You know what I mean? So just that drama, just you have to take things so far for people to listen. You know what I mean? And so maybe about a month ago, we had like a big incident around that. I won't share the details. There's no need. Uh, but it just all relates what I'm talking about. And I can tell she was just kind of mentally done. I mean, she was just kind of mentally done, kind of upset around the whole village, life and stuff like that. So she's the one that basically, like, kind of brought up the topic. Like for me, I was already done. You understand? Uh, but for me, I think I put it in my mind as the last year. I put it in my mind as, oh, it's time for me to focus on work, focus on myself, do identity work, remain in the fire, stuff like that. But, but, so for me, at the end of the year, when we're going through the holidays here, the recent Christmas and New Year's here, when it's transitioning in 2026, that for me, that's a time where I start reflecting, because I start reflecting back in 2025, and then I start reflecting back, kind of not ahead in 2026, but kind of like, okay, what do I want to focus on in 2026? And like the big question I had around that time was, I kind of felt like, not that identity work is done, because identity work is really never done. And what I mean by that is, you're always going to want to be that most successful version of you, my friend. You know what I mean? Once you get what you want right now, there's always a better version of you. So that's what I mean by that. But since I felt like I've done identity work the whole year, I kind of, when I was coming around the new year, I kind of felt like that chapter in my life was done. Like this chapter here, the Seren chapter is done. Okay, that's what I kind of felt like. But I was unsure with it. You understand? I felt like it was done, but I was unsure. And what was kind of crazy about it was, I lots of times when I'm sure, I'll just kind of like ask the unit, like, ask God, ask the universe, like, is it done? And I won't say it like that. I'll say it a little bit more specific, but then I'll just kind of let it go. Okay. Because I was struggling with it. Like, is it done? Is it not? I felt like it was done. But then around that time, probably a couple weeks later, few weeks later, that's when the drama kept on building, building, building. And that's what kind of led up to Aang. You know what I mean? So everything was kind of coming at the everything was kind of unfolding at a perfect time. Because at the time, like, I'm kind of asking this question of, I think this friend chapter is done. Now, I was kind of referring to more identity work and stuff like that for myself, but I was questioning it, and that was kind of leading into Aang. So like, it's kind of like Aang was going to answer this question for me. You understand? That's how these two kind of tie together. But anyway, maybe about a month ago, we had, kind of a bigger incident happen here, and I knew Aang was just kind of up to here with it. Um, kind of a whole bunch of emotions for her, like being angry, mad, not depressed, but just fed up and not happy and stuff like that. So she finally sat down and talked to me. It's like, and even she came out. This is the first time it came out of her mouth. Okay, so this is the very first time where she's I like she's done with Seren. Like she wants to go someplace else now. That she's not happy. She's not overall happy. She's not happy with the village anymore. Now, granted, she'll always have her house up here. You know what I mean? This is kind of like a family house. Uh, but but She talked to her. She talked to her dad about it, make sure her dad was okay, because his health really transformed. We talked about that part also. Kind of how we would handle her dad's health, because she doesn't. I think for her, she don't want her dad's health to go backwards. You know what I mean? That's the slight thing in the back of her mind. And so we talked about Bangkok, moving to Bangkok. So the plan was to move to Bangkok, then maybe she would come up here once a month. And basically, she has to come up once a month to kind of organize all her dad's medicine and stuff like that. Make sure he has food, make sure he has everything here, just to check on him for a few days, and she can come back down to Bangkok. So that's how we're going to kind of handle that. We did discuss either once a month or once every other month. But we'll see how that works out. Because she doesn't, I know I feel like a robot, but she's kind of like, nobody wants their health to go backwards. You understand? So it seems like his health just, I mean, I'm just being dead honest with this stuff, where his health just drastically turned around. Like he was so bad in the beginning when we came up here that even Ing told me, like, she didn't know that he would make it another year. I mean, that's how bad he was. So his health just totally transformed since we've been here. That led to, I'm having such a sentimental talk, and I'm looking at this brownie, like, oh, I want to eat you. But see, that led into, okay, we're going to move to Bangkok, whatever. But see, that kind of talk led into, ooh, holy hell, that smells good. That led into, because we got the puppies. You know what I mean? We got Lucky and Money. That's their names, Lucky Money. And so that kind of led into, well, we can't really go to a condo or an apartment with 2 dogs. Okay. Plus they're bigger dogs too. I mean, they're 6 months going on 7 months now. But they're going to be big dogs. Okay. They're not tiny anymore. And so I figured, especially in Thailand, I figure it's going to be kind of hard to get like a condo or a nice condo with pets. You know what I mean? Especially if a lot of Flong are there, a lot of foreigners, because that's another thing. Either it's hard to find it, plus it's hard to find a condo that's not treated like a hotel, not treated like a tourist trap. So I have a funny story with that one as well. I might as well share it here. Okay. This is Chad's share time. Okay. This is like kindergarten when we went to school, when we had show and tell. Oh, do you remember that we had show and tell? Did you guys have show and tell? No, comment below. Let me know if you had show and tell at school. But this would be way back in kindergarten, first grade, where you would bring something, maybe your favorite toy, bring in and show everybody. I'm gonna get off on tangents. I'm gonna forget what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, the puppies. Okay, everything, like, listen guys, everything, you manifest everything you say. You understand? Let me tell you, this relates to the, let me take a bite of this so I'm not holding it forever. This relates to our puppies, because when we first came up to Surin, okay, I broke my lease in Hua Hin. We came up here in Surin. And when we came up to Surin, see, we were just, in the beginning, we were just planning on being up here for 3 months. So I said an affirmation. It wasn't really an affirmation. It was just more of a statement. I said, well, when we leave Surin, we're moving into a house. That's what I said. And every time I would think about it, I would always say, when we leave Surin, we're not going back to a condo, because I was getting tired of the condo life in Thailand. And we're going into a house. Okay. Now, fast forward time, we have our puppies, Lucky and Money. That was spur of the moment. That was just, they were just kind of rescues, because they were by the side of the road. Their whole litter was by the side of the road. Some of them were getting killed by cars and stuff like that, but they were just rescues, spur of the moment. We weren't planning to get them. But it's so funny how in the beginning of Surin, I'm saying, when we leave Surin, we're moving into a house. Listen to this. Now, fast forward time, we get the puppies. Now, Ang and I sit down, have this talk that it's time to leave, basically. Now, since we have the puppies, I can't think about a condo anymore. You know what I mean? We have to go into a house. You understand what I'm saying? Isn't it's funny how things that you say ends up happening. Things that you say, it puts you in a spot where you can't go backwards. Uh, so so even a condo was out of the picture. Okay. Then that led into renting a house or renting a townhome. That led into this is the discussion between Ing and I. That led into buying a house. Okay. So then it led into buying a house. So then her brother-in-law has lived in Bangkok his whole life. So he's sending us pictures of houses. At first, he's sending us pictures are all like townhomes, like a townhome. It's kind of in between a town. Well, you know what a townhome is, or like a duplex, like townhomes and duplexes. But some of them were nice, but it's still a townhome is still kind of in between that apartment house life. Okay, but again, we had to say no to the townhome because we had the puppies. We got two of them. You know what I mean? Plus they're big. Because a townhome, most of the townhomes here, they don't come with yards. You have no yard. It's just like you live in an apartment. That's what I mean. So it's not impossible if you don't have a yard and you have a dog. It just means like you got to take them for walks, 3, 4, 5 times a day. And you got two of them, not just one. So so it's funny how everything works out. It's funny how like things that I've said and stated is transforming when we decide it's time to go or time to transition down to Bangkok. So now, okay, we're planning on buying a house in Bangkok. We're planning on buying a house before Sangran, the Sangran New Year, the Thai New Year. Okay, so that's the whole plan. We have a place picked out, like the duplex. I know the duplex name, the supply, the duplex. Uh, so we're so eventually here we're going to be going down to Bangkok. Have her brother-in-law drive us around, kind of look and see houses we like, areas we like. But we have an area already picked out. We just have to go there and see in person, see with our own eyeballs. Okay. So that's pretty exciting. So that's what's transforming right now, and that's pretty exciting. So right now we're just we're not in limbo, but that decision is made. I think that's a big thing, especially when you're dealing with success and manifesting. It's making that decision that the Surin chapter is done. We are moving. We are exiting from Surin. Uh, it's a little bit of a slower exit just because we're not just going down and grabbing a condo or anything. So we're buying. So a little bit slower, but it's happening. Aang's pretty excited. So like usually the last couple weeks now, usually in the evening, maybe we sit down and have a beer and that's what we talk about. Sometimes we brainstorm. Sometimes I'm being funny with her because I'm sitting there like this with a goofy look on my face, a grin like I'm thinking about something. She's like, "What do you think about?" "Oh, I'm thinking about my pool table." "Oh, I'm thinking maybe no, I want a pool table for the house, but that just depends. It just depends upon if the room if we have a room that's big enough for a pool table or stuff like that. So a pool table isn't definite, but it just depends upon kind of the architecture, the layout of the rooms, and stuff like that. But you can't put a pool table in a teeny tiny room. Doesn't make sense. It just looks ugly, oogly, oogly. Looks oogly. What's oogly? 10 times ugly. That's what oogly means. You know what I mean? Like we're sitting there and I'm like, oh, we'll have a TV, I'll buy a PlayStation, have a little game room, or we're sitting there and talk about uh the house we're thinking has 4 or 5 bedrooms. So one bedroom will be my office. Or an extra room or whatever would be an office. So that's pretty exciting too. Just because when I when I lived in Wahin, I mean, the condo I lived in Wahin, they had like a cool little nook area that was perfect for my desk. So I built that nook area with my desk and everything. Um, but but even since we came up here, I don't have my own room as an office. So that will be exciting to kind of have just a whole big room as an office, because I can decorate it like that. I can build it around, have different cameras, do whiteboards on the walls. I mean, it takes it up, like it basically takes everything up by 10 times. You know what I mean? So that's pretty exciting. So 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 that's kind of what we do in the evening. Like, we'll just sit down, talk and and kind of anticipate, the move. Have fun with it, have fun kind of going inside your imagination and seeing you already in your house, seeing things you're going to buy, what type of couch, what type of refrigerator, all that jazz. You know what I mean? That's living in the end, my friend. Okay. And, sometimes I've discussed this like recently. I don't know on the video, but lives, where I've been doing live streams a lot lately. And I think I talked about this on a live stream, that some of us struggle with when we live in the inn. Okay. Some of us struggle with, we go too far to the end. We go too far to the end where it causes contradiction. We struggle. We can't really see how we would really live. We can't really, if it's a house, we can't really see our dream house. You understand? And what you need to do is you need to back it up. You need to take the next realistic steps for you getting your house. You understand? It's not the how, okay? It's not how you got in your house, because most of the time the how is related to money. Okay, it's not how you did it, but you take the initial steps on getting your house, because that makes it more real for you. You understand? Let me give you an example. Okay, this was me just recently when we're dealing with moving to Bangkok, because again, I wasn't down in Bangkok looking at houses with my eyeballs. You know what I mean? I wasn't walking through developments where I could really see things I like, where I could use that for my imaginal scene. Okay. So, like in the beginning, when we said we're going to move to Bangkok, we're going to buy a house, this is what I did. In the beginning, I went straight to the end. I already have my house. But the issue I was having is I didn't know what the house looked like. I didn't know how big it was. I didn't know what it looked like inside. You know what I mean? Unless I just really started designing it myself exactly what I want, you could do that. But I just like struggled with it a little bit. So what I did was I backed it up. Okay, so my imaginal scene is this: is how much money do I need? Okay, for the move. Okay, was $30,000. Okay, then my next initial my steps was me waking up one morning and telling Ang, go ahead and book the bus tickets down to Bangkok. Get the VIP bus tickets, go down there. Because it's a 6-hour drive, a 6-hour bus ride down to Bangkok from Surin. Okay, this is all my imagination. Then we take the bus down there to Bangkok. Once we get to Bangkok, we take a taxi over to her brother-in-law's sister's place. Okay, we stay the night there. Then we get up and we spend a day or two looking at developments, looking at houses at the supply in the area. Okay, we pick one. Okay, in my imagination, we're negotiating. In my imagination, it shows like congratulations. Okay, like Anne qualified for first-time home buyer and no money down. Then it's us, kind of standing, like I'm kind of holding Ang, but kind of standing, posing as a picture of the houses behind us. Okay. Something like that, because in the beginning, I didn't know what the house was going to look like. So it was causing too much conflict. So what I did was I just backed it up. And I basically took the initial steps leading up to the house, meaning I didn't control how we got the house. I was just like, I got the money. Okay. Now I got the money. Then we take a bus to Bangkok. We take a taxi to her brother-in-law's sister's place. We stay the night there. We get up and start looking for houses. I mean, those are the initial steps. So I put those in my imaginal scene. Okay, now since I have a little bit more of what the house is going to look like, because I've seen pictures and stuff like that, now I can put that in my mind. Okay, but that's what I mean. Sometimes we go too far at the end, and it just causes too much contradiction. Okay, it's hard for us to get into it. So if you back it up a little bit, lots of times it works out a little bit better for you. That's all I'm saying. Almost choked on my coffee. But yeah, friends, that's what's been kind of going on the last month, something like that. Like between so it was kind of so funny. I'll wrap it up with this. It's kind of so funny because as the final drama was going on, I'm in the middle of working on my SP Masterclass. Okay, and I'm focused on that. Like Aang is just like fed up, like, I want to go right now. I don't like it here no more. You know what I mean? Then I'm just like, well, I gotta finish this masterclass first before we go anywhere. You know what I mean? Then that's, everything started kind of aligning, but that's what I was doing when, everything was, some of the drama was hitting and stuff like that. But it's all working out perfect, my friends. Just want to share that stuff with you. Haven't had a coffee talk like this for a little while. I know sometimes we talk about serious things, manifesting, stuff like that, but just want to sit down and have a little bit more of a casual, what's going on with Chad? And even though the mornings can be a little bit more busy, sometimes I can sit here and not be interrupted. Sometimes I gotta see what the puppies are doing, make sure they're behaving. Sometimes they're loud. Sometimes they're fighting. So, but anyway, tribe, I'm gonna wrap this baby up. I haven't eaten my brownie yet, but I'm gonna eat that bad boy. Since I opened it, I gotta eat it. Maybe that's why I opened it secretly. But anyway, if you have questions, comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Remember, since this is a Sunday Coffee Talk, we always have the Super Thanks Spotlight. Super Thanks Spotlight. Leave a Super Thanks, attach a question to it, and that's what we discuss every single Sunday. Also with that, friends, I'll put the link in the description to the SP Masterclass. Check that out. That's an awesome masterclass on how to attract your SP and how to keep them. But check that out. And other than that, I will see you next Sunday. Peace out. Remember, I love you guys, and I'll see you next week.